Ash being banned. See, that's pretty good bans. Like, pick 60%, ban 60%, win rate 49%. That's not bad percentages. Excuse me.
No, not very.
Makawa. Okay, yeah, I kind of understand the Makawa ban. But yeah, I definitely 1,000% understand the Willow ban.
Yeah, the Willow again is a respect ban, and Orphic Gaming. These are the guys that do like to analyze these drafts. Like, these guys do their homework. So a lot of thought and a lot of attention goes into these drafts.
Dink,
Orphic. Orphic can really do their homework.
No, Orphic don't. Trust me, I know these guys. They don't. They pick what they want to pick on the day and hope for the best. I'm gonna give them. So no. Atlas are being picked up, obviously 21% pick rate with a 30% win rate.
Not teams that pick him don't really have not had success with him. It's Atlas has kind of fallen into that pitfall of we have to take the Atlas because we don't want to play against it. But the problem is that they're not playing around it properly. They're not drafting around it correctly. So I don't know, Orphic Gaming, let's see if they can spin around that win percent. But Dink Esports going to go with the comfort. Danny has got his eyes on that Cassie and the Khan first pick as well for Dink Esports.
I like that. I like the Cassie pick especially. It doesn't matter. Like right now, they could go into a Mave or something, and the Cassie's going to be there to counter it. So it's quite nice and steady. Furia, but early. Oh, I don't know about that. That's a little too early, in my opinion, Orphic. Picking the Fury in now when you're going to give up a double DPS? Like right now, Dink don't need to worry about their healer. They're like, whatever.
But I think this is more the priorities on Mave. For Mave. Again, I'll make that joke every single time.
So, like, even if they pick the Fury, it doesn't matter. You just don't go on the Fury, and the Mave goes on to something else. So technically, I think the Fury is way too early. And coming out from Dink, we're going to see Grover being picked. But Grover's got great potential with that right-click slow. So
get it right. The cripple on the Grover's, crippling axe, what the ability's called, is going to be a bit of a nasty thing to deal with as well. Also, being able to influence most of the fight. On Serpent Beach, we see a lot of attention going up towards the waterfall area, the higher grounds, where we see both teams step up on the towers and try and shoot down at each other, whilst the flanks do have their own little 1v1 battle on the other side of the arena. So Grover is able to heal up on the towers and also heal down at point as well.
Right.
That's Orphic. Going to go with very solid foundation here.
That is a very good draft. That is a very good draft coming out from Orphic. Now, Dink, obviously, now can't go into a Drovus, not on this map, not with a freaking Leon Mave. That's just asking for trouble. Bonking is where they need to go.
What do I feel?
Yeah, but they're going to instead go for the Strix, the longer range option. Maybe trying to get a bit of pressure down onto the Leon and try and poke out the Furia, but of course... that means Cassie's going to be on Mave duty, pretty much.
Yeah, that's fine. But the Strix is a bit...
I think Cassie the big game Cassie would be more effective against the front lines. Probably more backline. But
yeah, you are right. Big game here against the Khan, against the Barrack, but not 100% sold on this Strix pick.
Right.
Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, is it really a semi-final if Orphic Gaming is not part of it? Welcome to Semi 2 of MLL Season 3, Week number 6, between Dink Esports and Orphic Gaming, Game number 1. Let's go through to the rosters as a small little pause goes through the field. On the side of Dink Esports, we have Danny TPG with the unauthorized use Strix. Jay is furious. Right Flu on the big game Cassie. Milad on the Rampart Blooming Grover. Thank you. Best support you ever. Sear on the Storm of Bullets Khan, because I just can't believe that got through. And Poria 1377 on the Tinkering Berg.
And over on the other side, Orphic Gaming and Neptune the Blue on the Eminence Leon. Chubby Plum playing the Cherish Furia. Andromeda's Hard Carrion on the Mother's Grace. Inara Mave playing the Cat Burglar Mave. And Dutch Knight with Deja Vu Atlas.
Yeah, as there is another pause, it's a very short pause. It will be over in just a minute. I can feel it in the air. Oh, it's gonna happen. But, let's just discuss this very quickly. How did they allow Dutch Knight on the Atlas? That is a dangerous thing to get through. I know that this guy is practicing that Atlas like vigorously when he finally gets that through drafts and scrims. So, you know, I'm just feeling that Orphic Gaming has the control needed. Andromeus just going on the point immediately, as the Stone Warden is known for. This definitely means that there is going to be a fight on high ground. They need to get that control first before they can get on the point, because how are you going to counter an Inara? That's not really an easy task.
Yeah, but on the point there, Puria and Inara going and Andromeus on the Inara going face to face. The wall goes up. Inara are already having to retreat once to get a heal up, but they're back at it now, and it's 51% in favor of Orphic Gaming, but there's still a long way to go in this point fight. First blood goes to Riflu.
I mean, look at that. Now Poria is comfortably sat on the point, and that is where Barrick is shining the most. When the control is in their hands and the turret can pretty much do the work of pretty much giving him a signal that there's somebody close to his proximity. And in this very case, Andromeus is definitely in his close proximity. He needs to get that covered, but the impasse will block a few shots, and Orphic Gaming are pushing onwards towards Dink.
Yeah, Dink Esports looking comfortable. They were looking in control there. Milad already managing to get the whirlwind off once in this game, just giving his team that little bit, that boost. But Dutch Knight there will take out Milad. Neptune the Blue will take Puria, and Riflu will finish off the Maeve.
Neptune the Blue pulling off a nice enlightenment, getting a hold on to Seer and any TPG, which allowed Orphic Gaming to turn it around and capture the point. Now they're going to have the pressure up and running. I really like to see Neptune when he's on his comfort picks, when he's playing something where all he has to do is focus around hitting targets and just connect the dots. Then he's having a wonderful game. And you can see it here. He's very comfortable with the enlightenment and the grace, the precision. Like, he's pretty much in his comfort zone right now. And I do believe that that is going to be a problem for Dink Esports, as they pretty much are forced to stay on high ground and wait for a signal to engage.
Yeah, I mean, Neptune looking very comfortable, although Rifle did manage to just force the first death onto Neptune the Blue on Lian there. But if you look at the damage charts, I mean, Lian was over 10,000 ahead of anyone else, although Atlas pushing up, being very aggressive and really taking that damage. Dutch Knight just putting a lot of pressure onto Puria. The dome shield is forced out inside the building there, and Orphic will back off. Dutch Knight pushing back in, trying to put that pressure, trying to get some momentum going for Orphic Gaming.
The momentum is definitely going to snowball ahead if it's not stopped immediately. They have the perfect positioning in order, and that is time for Riflu to really pull off the Cassie stats as he's used to when he gets the Cassie in hand. Dutch Knight pulling off a little bit of a barrier here as he wants to set back Riflu into a bad positioning. Dutch Knight really knowing what the power of Atlas brings to the table. And now they're on the back foot on Dink. There's only 2 allies alive for the side of blue. Boreac going down in the end, and I am pretty sure that Seer is in trouble as well.
Yeah, it's looking very comfortable right now for Orphic Gaming. They are grouping up well. They're pushing this payload slowly but surely, with pressure from Dutch Knight making so much space for his team right now. Chubby Plum will fall to Rifle there as the Cassie will get that pick. Seer just holding Andromeus off on the Inara, but the payload is still moving, and now Dink have to push in if they want to stop this payload moving.
Andromeus and Maeve goes down to Riflu, and now the D push is happening. Dutch Knight as well going down to Riflu. That's a delayed triple kill, and Dink Esports defends at the very last second. They almost got Chubby Plum as well, but the timer said no you, and that was the end of the round there. I'm really digging Riflu's playstyle here. Like, look, he's 7-1. That's nothing in comparison to anyone else in this game so far. They are really showing the power of the Cassie here. Also, holding off some good stats when it comes to damage dealt. I'm just a little bit afraid that they might underestimate how aggressive Orphic are when they first get the point. And here's the short pause by the side of Orphic. The last pause allowed for both teams. That's not, if you look at the alts available right now, we have the Midnight, we have the Enlightenment, we have the Seismic Crash, and we have the Path of Exile, or Exile as it's actually named, for the side of Orphic. But what we do have over on the other side is Scout together with the Flashbang. And if that happens together, that's going to be very nasty. Because if you can see all the targets, you know who to connect that Flashbang onto and snipe. And that's where Strix really starts making sense here. If they are combining it together with the Scout, or maybe even using an overpower from the Khan to be able to grab one out of the field. Maybe even the Maeve, that would be maybe the best option they have available right now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The overpower at this point, when you're coming into a fresh point fight, is such an impactful ultimate, because it's just, if you can hit it, it's almost a guaranteed 4v5 at that point. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The Scout gives so much visibility to your team, and then the unauthorized use gives you such an advantage. The Flashbang gives you such an advantage, being able to CC such a large number of your opponents at that point, that I would say that the ultimates that are available to Dink right now probably give them an advantage going into this point fight. But we have to see, and we have to factor in, for instance, the pressure that Dutch Knight is going to be putting from the Alice, and like shutting down that Strix. I mean, the Strix was popping off a little bit more at the end of that defense just there, getting those damage numbers up. But it felt a little bit having to be a little bit cautious, a little bit wary through most of that team fight in the initial stages of the first point. So we have to see now if they can make these ultimates work for them, and if Dink can come in and capture this second point.
It is a 1-1 situation for the side of Orphic and Dink. They both have 1 point. They are as even as they come. There's no comeback mechanic in play. We have to say it every single time. It's just that important, apparently. But nonetheless, we have an overpower. Andromeus gets caught out. That's the worst that could happen for the side of Orphic. Dink Esports are having the control in their favor. And as they're trying to push back from the side of Orphic, they just get absolutely stopped. You can just hear it in the distance. You have been stopped.
Absolutely. Poria there taking out the Maeve on the Maeve. And that ultimate there, the overpower onto Andromeus, was absolutely targeted. You saw them waiting for the Earthen Guard to finish so that she was no longer CC immune, and then boom, that was a very quick pick. However, we are seeing picks going the way of Orphic Gaming right now. Poria and 1v1ing the Maeve on the point, Dutch Knight pushing in. Can Dink hold on to this point? 99% in the overtime.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful vine right there. Dink Esports actually captures this as they left the point for a few seconds over on Orphic Gaming. I really like that Milad just jumped into the air, said, okay, I'm gonna die, but I'm at least going to heal you before I die. And that was brilliantly played, making sure that Poria could stay on point and capture. So now it's a 2-1 in favor of Dink Esports, which I feel Orphic Gaming is surprised about.
Absolutely. Maeve getting a quick double kill there, and Orphic Gaming looking kind of in control at this point of the defense. But I mean, there's a minute 50 to go, and Dink are just going to regroup, just going to plan their offense and how they're going to push this payload. But they're looking for key picks right now. Just a little bit of back and forth going on the stairs. Sia pushing up, making Dutch Knight back off. Maeve dropping very low. The Scout comes out again, giving visibility to Dink, letting them push forwards, be more aggressive, and now they are back on the point. Poria dropping very, very low.
Poria gets a double kill up in this hizzy. The turrets and the tinkering shots are simply too much to handle for the side of Orphic, and that results in 4 out of 5 with a heavy stagger onto Andromeus for the side of Dink Esports. They definitely knew the win conditions here and followed the rules to a T, even though that T is not even part of that word, but I don't know how sayings work nowadays.
Yeah, rightfully they're just putting a lot of pressure onto Chubby Plum on the high ground. But Chubby Plum manages to Wings of Wrath away and stays alive. Maeve will go down once again to a tinkering shot from Puria, who is absolutely landing those shots today. And Puria is just pushing this payload while his team does the work and keeps Orphic Gaming away from it.
TJDJ actually gets a hold onto Chubby Plum, which is one of the most essential targets in this very push. How are they going to heal up? They only have their out-of-combat healing to help them over on Orphic. And with a good amount of sear pressure right here, they're definitely feeling the searing sensation. And Maeve jumping in. Oh no! That was 1, 2, 3 and down for the count. That is the power of the pounds. And the 9 lives just, you know, it's just saying, yeah, I'm just gonna reset and kill you, okay? And maybe reposition afterwards. But the overtime is in favor. Oh, actually, not anymore. And Dromius got that last essential pick needed to defend, and now it's a 2-2. Very even.
That was a very close push, getting it almost all the way to the objective there for Dink. But yeah, a very good defense from Orphic Gaming there. Now, I suppose we're going to come into this next point. It's 2-2 again, but Dink are going to be feeling confident after that last push. I think they're feeling good right now.
Actually, I want to look at Dutch Knight's build for the Atlas as of now. I like that there's a little bit of flexibility for players. I feel that many players have different builds for Atlas, but I really do like Dutch Knights with having the Beyond the Veil at 5, Old Wounds 4, Paradox 4, Hellhunter 1, and the Distant Memory 1. It makes him very much able to both be a pressure tank and as well a really good point tank. And look at this pressure. The lad is going down for the count with the power of friendship. And Dink Esports are on the back foot of this.
Well, I mean, look, momentarily the Dink Esports were on the back foot of this, and then suddenly Rifle pops off with the triple kill, and it suddenly evens up. Puria manages just to hold the point, 1v1ing now with Dutch Knight. Rocket boots away, puts the barricade up, but he can't get around the corner, out of line of sight, and he will fall to Dutch Knight. And now Orphic Gaming look comfortable on the point.
Well, we gotta give credit to Puria for holding off for such a long time. But Dink Esports are about to get back into this point fight. The Enlightenment is popped off by Neptune the Blue. It is not gonna connect to anything, but it doesn't matter. He will just allow himself to get Rifle. It doesn't matter though. Milad answers truthfully and gets a hold on to Neptune, and Dromius answering by getting Puria. And now it's a 2-for-2 situation. Seer going down, making it a 3-2 situation for the side of Orphic Gaming. They are definitely on the advantage. And that's just another capture for good old Orphic.
Yeah, it was a bit of back and forth there. Could have gone either way for a moment, but the point presence of the Inara coming through in favor of Orphic right there. Danny TVG managed to get some shots into Maeve, taking her down, but Orphic did capture that point, and now we'll see what they can do with it.
With the pressure in hand for Orphic Gaming, they have a flashbang in their face right there as Danny TVG finally gets a hold on to Maeve, and I have the hiccups because this is happening so fast that my breath can't even follow the tempo of my words. But it doesn't matter. Dutch Knight will go down to Riflu just the same. Neptune the Blue being low and having to get out of there. You could hear the Zoidberg sounds in the background.
We're seeing some very, very good sort of positioning from Dink right now. Danny TBG staying close to the Grover, getting those burst heals every time that pops off. Khan and Barrick sticking together, and but I mean, wow, that is a lot of kills in favor of Orphic Gaming. They're filling up the kill feed, and now they can get that payload moving.
It is time for the Maeve to play Maeve and do Maeve things as we're inside the mini house. Puria will go down due to the high amount of pressure that went on right there. It might be a short setback for the side of Dink Esports. They are lacking their main tank, but at the same time, they have the perfect positioning for the rest of the squad, and they can keep the high ground in control for the time being.
Danny TPG once again getting the pick onto Maeve, and that's always a big pick because that's a lot of pressure that Maeve is putting into the backlines. Orphic pushing hard, but Dink pushing them back just as hard. Andromeda's having to take cover behind the wall. The payload is stalled right now. Only 30 seconds to go. Can Orphic put some more pressure? Can they get this moving again? Milad taking the high ground, putting the pressure onto Andromeus, just dropping down. But it's looking very much like Dink could hold this point.
19 seconds left for the push of Orphic Gaming. The contest is there. Poria is trying to hold off the sides, saying, no way, Jose, you're not going to get onto this point. But it does seem to be just a safe route for Andromeus, as he's getting... Andromeus, yeah, I don't know what happened there. But Chubby Plum will help getting Poria down. And with the overtime in effect, they need to stay as close to the payload as you would hug your partner in crime. This is not looking good for Dink.
It's not now, no. I mean, it looked like they might be able to pull this off for a minute, but what we're seeing is we were seeing a lot of Dink holding the high ground. But what that meant was, although they were managing to put pressure onto Orphic, Andromeus was just uncontested on the point, and the payload kept moving. Now we are seeing Puria back on the point, 1v1ing, putting the pressure onto Andromeus with help from Milad with the heals. Hopefully, we're going to see if they can defend this. But the bowling ball, the rocket boots, just going to give a little bit more sustain. There goes the whirlwind. That's a big ultimate to have to use before going into another point fight. But at this point, they have to defend, otherwise this map is lost.
I'm sorry to say, but did you notice that? He was not in range to heal up Poria, and that's bad, because right now they're all pressured out on the side of Dink. They don't have the pressure needed, because they're 2 down, and Poria might be doing a good favor by placing down that dome shield, but will it be enough? Andromeus is still healthy as ever. Mavis going in, it's a jump party in here, and Orphic Gaming will take game number 1 against Dink Esports. A brilliant effort.